عندي 106 سنين 106 سنين الحمد لله.
Hello and welcome to Meet Us on the Abraham Path. I'm Anisa Mehdi, Executive Director of the Abraham Path Initiative. API promotes walking as a tool for intercultural experiences and to foster friendships across the challenging divides of our times. Those divides seem to be growing larger and deeper on a daily basis here in the US. But remember, walking is also a tool for peaceful protest. I'm an American. I grew up in New York City. As kids, my friends and I took part in the civil rights movement and in the marches against US intervention in Vietnam. My younger daughter lives in Brooklyn now, and she's listening to explosions and sirens every evening out her window at night. At API, we remember that at our core, walking is a tool for coming together, for communication, and for building alliances. We've seen lots of that this week in the US. One example is the sheriff of Genesee County, Michigan, Chris Swanson. He and his team put down their batons and joined with protesters, walking peacefully together, building relationships and trust. Walking is a way to build bridges and to cross bridges. API promotes walking specifically in Southwest Asia, a part of the world we commonly call the Middle East, a region that has seen a good deal of protest, brutality, and the destruction of historic treasures. It's a region that keeps bouncing back with irrepressibly hospitable people who will invite you, a stranger, in for tea, even if tea is the only thing they have to offer. These are people that remember the legendary tradition of Abraham, or Ibrahim in Arabic, who, as the story goes, walked through the then Fertile Crescent, ancient Mesopotamia, sharing hospitality with the people that he and his family met along the way. And on our webinar today, appropriately, we are introducing you to two people that guide walkers through the spectacular landscapes of the region and bring visitors into homes, local homes, where tea is a must. Two people that have staked their careers and livelihoods on walking and hospitality. From the mountains of northwestern Jordan, where it's 7 o'clock at night now, Eisa Dweekat joins us. Eisa? Eisa, please come on camera.
Hello.
Hello, Eisa. Eisa
Good
is
evening.
with us. Good evening. And I hope pretty soon we'll see your son Yaman with you as well.
Yeah, he's a little guide.
Yes, a little guide.
Yeah,
Eisa grew up in the small town of Orjan, where generations of his family came from. He walks people through the Ajloun region of Jordan that's named after the 12th century fortress that was built there under the rule of Sultan Salahuddin, who was also a military chief. That fortress was built to defend against the invading armies from Europe, the Crusades, a series of war that lasted 200 years. You're well tonight, Eisa? And Yaman?
Yes. And Yaman.
Ahlan. Ahlan means welcome in Arabic.
Ahlan.
We also say Ahlan, welcome, to Zaid Azhari, who some of you remember as the first writer of API Postcards from the Path in our email series. Zaid joins us today from Bethlehem, a city where another social justice stakeholder and protester is believed to have been born, Jesus of Nazareth. Zaid, you're from Sabastiya, far north of Bethlehem. What brings you to Bethlehem today?
Yeah, first, hello everyone. I am working as a team coordinator of Masar Ibrahim Al Khalil, the non-profit organizations who are working to develop and run the trail in the West Bank. today and after the last situation all over the world, we are working here today to have an emergency plan and to work to develop the tourism, especially in the West Bank after all the affected issues happen.
Thank you. Eisa, how have you and your family held up with the lack of tourists coming as a result of the COVID-19 virus?
Good evening for everybody. Really, when the COVID-19 starts in the world, right now is very quiet in Jordan. But before 2-3 years, have a really very nice season. The last of 2 to 3 years ago. But right now, we hope, inshallah, the tourists coming from everywhere, like before, to back from Europe country, from America, from everywhere in the world. Yes, but we hope, inshallah, soon.
We hope so too. What have you been doing, both of you, in the meantime, when you aren't guiding people through your neighborhoods and your mountains? What are you and your family doing, Eisa?
Yes, I'm born here, the north of Jordan, in Urjan village. My grandfather and my father told me before 10 generation we are here in Ayoun governorate in Urjan village, and we are farmer. My big family is a farmer, and I'm start my job before 15 years ago, and we're living in between the mountain, and all my life with my family I'm start to find a good job for me to start my adventure guide between the mountain, because I love the mountain and I know the mountain very well, and my family, they like the job, and even I have my wife and my kids, like a man, he's a little guide. He started with me with the 6 years old. 15 years ago start to be adventure guide. Before 17, 18 years, my hobby, just start to hobby, and after that, this is now my job and my family job.
We've heard from a lot of our colleagues that when the tourists are not there, farming has become more and more important. Zaid, are you also doing some farming in Sabastiya area now that you're not guiding people?
Yeah, fortunately, there's no people to guide them, and the people, they need like to find alternative, to first to fill their times and also to find their needs they need. And most of the Palestinian community, they are farmers, and we have that field. We are already visited through our walks and hikes in the past. The people back to the agriculture to find their needs, and also to have their food organic, and in a way to be limit needs they needed, especially after the incoming for the most of the people stop after the affected of COVID-19.
Yeah. So it's really tough when you have no income. But I understand that restrictions are being lifted in Israel, Palestine, and Jordan. What have you noticed as things change?
I will be honest with you, like to say there is change for the close of COVID-19, but the normal life or the daily life for us as a Palestinian was with Israeli checkpoints whose limit our movement also between our cities and villages and another areas. For us, it was like we had a training before the lockdown on all the area and stop the movement between the areas. That stopped with the Palestinian Authority because of medical and health issues. But today we still live under the situation with the Israeli occupation on the West Bank, and we are really afraid that will be more difficult and it will be worse after the deal of the century and after the Israeli decides to have more areas from the West Bank and the Palestinians to add it to the Israeli control, like different areas, like they mentioned Jordan Valley, and it's one of the important and big sites in the West Bank for agriculture.
Do you think that's going to have an impact on hiking and walking trails in the future?
Of course, that what will happen because we are passing through all the West Bank. There is different names for political areas in the area. Part of it it's fully under the Palestinian control. Part of it it's under the Israeli control. I will have a short example. It's a stage on Masar Ibrahim in the West Bank between Nablus, the city, until Awarta. That part, until today, we cannot hike on it because it's passing through some military areas where, as a Palestinian, it's not possible for us to walk or to hike or to drive through that area in our life. And what we are afraid on it also, if the Israeli will think to change the track of the wall of the Israeli wall, who take many of our land and start like to be inside the wall. And for us as a Palestinian, we don't have the access to be after that wall or to be in that lands in that area.
Zaid, tell us about the Masar Ibrahim, the trail that runs from the top of the West Bank to the bottom of the West Bank that you guide people along.
Masar Ibrahim, it's our main project. It's a trail starting from the north of Jenin until the south of Hebron in a small village there named Beit Mersem. It's 330 kilometers, 21 hiking days, passing through all the Palestinian communities, villages, cities, refugee camps, and also Bedouins. Through that trail, you can have a general look on the Palestinian communities and you can discover and feel the experience of the Palestinian life, and you can meet the people. Because we are believing the culture and the life of the Palestinian and the community, it's the special issue we are presenting through that. Through your hike, you will pass through religious sites in Jenin or in Nablus or in Bethlehem. In different areas, there's religious sites and archaeological sites, but that you can find it anywhere in the world. But the special issue is the people. You will meet them because all the story is talking about these people, the humanity of the people. You will meet them. All of these people, they will have like a mosaic. Every piece and every one of them, it will be part of it, part of the story and part of your imagine about Palestine and about that community.
Zaid, when we finished the World Bank project with Masar Ibrahim Khalil, Abraham Path Initiative, and the organization, the NGO Masar Ibrahim Khalil, collaborated on a project with the World Bank, we calculated that over 58,000 people had walked on that trail over the course of 4 to 5 years. Is it really that popular? How many people do you find yourself in regular times guiding on during a week or a weekend?
The tourism in Palestine have two seasons, one in spring, one in autumn, and during the seasons, sometimes I have daily walks with the groups, locals and foreigners, of course. But after the success with the numbers of the foreigners who visited Palestine, also the locals start like to thinking and to do that kind of activity, to hike and to walk through the West Bank. it was like one of the interesting points. We opened it through this project for the people. The Palestinians, they live under a very bad situation since from 2000 until 2009. There was more than 650 checkpoints all around the West Bank that limit the movement of the Palestinian during that time. This project came with a free movement for the people to hike, to discover, to meet, and to know more about their lands. That was one of the main interesting issue for them, to have this opportunity to discover the home and the land around them.
We have a video that you supplied to us that gives a little bit of that story. Shall we watch that now?
Yes, let's go.
Okay.
The Masar Ibrahim al-Khalil is a cultural trail that leads deep into the memory and heritage of the Palestinian people and the age-old traditions of hospitality at the heart of Palestinian life. The path is 321 kilometers long and stretches from Jenin's breathtaking plains in the north to the green hills of southern Hebron, passing through villages, cities, Bedouin communities. The Masar was developed in collaboration with the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities. Most of the path is marked and perfectly safe. Maps and GPS data are available and allow hikers to walk alone You can also join one of the numerous walks, bike tours, or activities, like cooking classes or cultural evenings, organized along the trail.
أنا كنت بريحة من قبل، بس هاي المرة استكشفت أريحة بطريقة جديدة عن طريق البسكليتات وكان في خلال الجولة أشياء تثقيفية، يعني ما كانتش بس مجرد رياضة، كان فيها ثقافة.
تعرف وجود الاحتلال الإسرائيلي ووجود مستوطنات وكذا، عدم خبرتي في هاي الأماكن كنت أخاف إن أتجول لحالي أو إنه برفقة زميل لإلي. أما إن هون هلا بوجود فريق ومع ناس بتفهم بتعرف وين تمشيني، ما نفوتش خط غلط، ما نروحش على مكان غلط يعرضنا للخطر، الوضع هيك اختلف.
عرفت ناس جديد، تعرفت بلاد جديد، وهالكدي فلسطين حلوة والله كيفنا.
The Masar Ibrahim is a place of meeting and connection with the local community. It is also a place for nature lovers and sustainable tourism. We are committed to preserve the beautiful areas we pass by leaving no trace of our journey.
هلا فصل الربيع جميل، المشهد جميل جدا، كل شيء أخضر، كل شيء حلو، وأهم شيء بتحسه هو الحرية، يعني لما تكون واقف بهيك منظر بتحس بالحرية كتير.
كنت أنا بشتغل مستوطنات في البحر الميت، وتمشكلت مع المعلم، وكان بيني وبينه سوء تفاهم يعني، وعود دشرت الشغل. فكرت في الفكرة هذه، خطرت ببالي، كنت أنا ساكن على جبل هان، وخطرت الفكرة على بالي إني أنا أسوي خيمة سياحية وبستقبل فيها الناس.
Spending the night at the Bedouin camp is actually my first time to do this. Not my first hike, but my first hike, which starts at 2:30 a.m. So it's an amazing experience overall.
تفضلوا انضموا إلنا، يجب نتعرف على بلدنا، لازم نتعرف على بلدنا ونصير بنحبها أكثر، وبلدنا بحاجة إلنا. اطلعوا في الطبيعة واطلعوا وانبسطوا وتعرفوا على بلدكم.
Masar Ibrahim. Walk a path of history, experience nature and hospitality.
So the Masar Ibrahim is one of the trails that has been stimulated by Abraham Path Initiative and supported in a variety of ways, and it becomes an economic development opportunity for the people that live there. Let me invite from Jordan again, Eisa Dweekat, to turn on your camera and to join me here to talk about the opportunities that trails have brought to you and to your many colleagues in Jordan, Eisa. I know that many of you are also entrepreneurs and enterprising individuals who have created your own businesses. Eisa, can you turn on your camera for us? There we go. Welcome back. Welcome back. So you live right across the valley, the Jordan Valley, from where many of those scenes were videotaped, many of those scenes that in the video that Zaid showed us. But you're in a more mountainous area in that northern part of Ajloun. What is your favorite part of the area that you take people through?
All the trails, I like it in general in Jordan, really. But my favorite in the mountain, in the green part of Jordan, our area, Ajloun area and around. When they start from the holy places like Jesus Cave to the Rasoum village, to Jam village down to the Tel Marlias. This is my favorite place, but I like all the trails around, especially the north of Jordan. Yeah, because I am born here.
Eisa, you have some photos to show us, don't you, about the Jordan Trail and about the areas that you tour people through in particular. Would you show us your presentation so that we can you can tell us about these places and we can look at the pictures at the same time?
Okay, this we start from the main map. This is we have a Jordan Trail in Jordan. The Jordan Trail 650 kilo. Start from the Qais and finish in Red Sea or Al Aqaba. And the Jordan Trail, if we want to walk or the tourist walk, hold the Jordan Trail, take about 40 days to 45 days, depends. Some people, they finished in 30 days. Most of the tourists coming here to see the Jordan Trail. Why? Because the Jordan Trail is different landscape. You can see the mountain, canyons, desert, everything in the Jordan Trail. Here, this is the panoramic photo. And sometimes we stopped here just to drink some tea or lunch boxes. This is some ruins from the Roman time. They use it to bury the people in these caves. And these caves, the local people, they use it 100 years ago to live with some sheep, goats they have. And this is photo I have. I had a group. This we start from the Jesus Cave to the Urjan village, and this is you can see the olive press here from Roman time, and we can see olive press from the Ottoman time. But this is they use it to get the olive oil. And this is the group from United States. They join us to do a nice hike from Jesus Cave to Rasoum village. You can see Palestine from this area, like Safad city, Baisan, and Al-Nasirat. This is another view. We can use this trail all the year all the year, because in the summer times we can walk in the trees in the shade, and in the springtime really very nice. We can see many flowers, and many people they like to do the hike.
Eisa, are you making tea there for your guests?
Yes, I'm making tea. I'm stopped here in the view because this is really very nice view to talk about the trail and about the mountain and about the landscape in our area. And this is my son Yaman and another and Samer and Yaman. They helped me to make a tea for the tourists. Yes, this is very nice to show the tourists the map before we start the trail. This about 15 kilometers, take about 4 to 5 hours, easy hike. And this trail, everybody, you can use this trail, like student, old people, young people, everybody like to use this trail. And we start from Betidis and we finish in Rasoon village, and we can finish in Orjan village. And the local, they use this trail, not just the tourists. The local people in Jordan, they like to do the hike. Yeah. This photo on the trail, just to show the trail in the forest when we go down to the valley, from the top to the valley. This is the photo we took before 5-6 years. This is my friend Tony Howard from England, from Manchester. He is climbing. This is the rock climbing. We have hiking and rock climbing, and sometimes we make camping in the trails. And we take the photo for him, and you can see the mountain, the north of Jordan, the green
And
part.
Tony and his wife Di are some of the pioneers of adventure hiking in the country of
Yes.
Jordan.
Yes, she is always with him to help him to do the climbing and to do hiking. And sometimes he helped us to explore the trail when we start with the Abraham Path Initiative in 2008. And he come before. And this photo, I remember a friend from Abraham Path Initiative, all the group from Abraham Path Initiative, they help us to explore the trails, to marketing the trails, to give us some training, wilderness first aid. Yes.
And Leon McCarran was on the show just a couple of weeks ago, and will be back at the end of June too.
Yeah. I hope see him soon, inshallah, in Jordan. And and this is a photo with my friend and my colleague Anisa. She is a journalist. I know her when she write about the Jordan, when she working here in Jordan, and she coming many times here to do hike with me and my family and my friends.
I love coming and walking with you, and I love staying at your home and having some food made by your wife, Iman.
You're welcome anytime, and for everybody from everywhere in the world. And this is the table of our food, the north of Jordan. And this food, my wife, she make the local food for the tourists. And my wife, everybody knows her. Most of the people in Jordan, when they're coming here and from Europe country, from USA, most of the tourists, they like her food. She cook very well, and she make always a big meal for the tourists. I have a homestay, the north of Jordan, in Orjan village. My homestay, 5 rooms. Every room have many beds like this. Always we share them about the stories about our area. We share them different activities like harvest the olive, harvest the pomegranate, figs. They are really very happy to see the local people. This is a photo in the another panoramic in the trail, in the Bergish Trail. You can see the flag of Jordan. This is some of them locals and some of them from Europe country, from United States. And here, my friend, he make the tea for them. And this is a Jordanian woman. And this is from Europe country. And this is my friend from England. And this is from Sudan. They are from different countries.
It's just such a great demonstration, Isa, of how walking brings people together and connects us across divides that we invent. I don't speak your language, so we can't communicate. I don't worship the same way you do, so we can't communicate. I dress differently from you. This erases all of those distinctions when we walk together and we eat together and we help one another over some big rocks and some of the smaller places where we might lose our footing. So I
We
really
are
see
ready.
your work as bridge building and peace building.
Yes, we are very happy to see the tourists coming to our area to share the people, to see the people, to exchange culture together, to eat the local food, to share us to harvest the different like olive tree, pomegranate. We are really very happy to make the tourist happy.
Yes.
Really, we are very happy to make the tourist happy.
Well, we have 45 people with us on this webinar today from all over the world, and maybe some will end up coming to walk with you and walk with Zaid, and others may enjoy in the future virtual tours that we can offer through the Abraham Path Initiative. I want to invite our attendees to please write your questions for Zaid and Eisa into the questions part of the control panel on your screen, so that we can ask your questions of these two very experienced guides. While we're waiting for a few questions, Eisa, show people what you put in your backpack when you bring people along on a walk.
I have my backpack. This is my backpack. I have many backpack really, but this is one of my backpack. And this is the main things. This is the first aid. You should be to take the first aid always with you, everybody, the adventure guide. And I'm check my first aid every month. You should be to have in the first aid. Yes, like grip bandage, like compass. That's just in case, like compass, yeah. And that this is and some medicine and some. You should be different grip bandage and some medicine for the muscles, for the everything, yeah. This,
so you're prepared in case anything goes wrong. Does it happen very often, Eisa? Does it happen often that somebody needs your first aid kit?
You should
or are
be
people mostly fine?
With me, mostly fine. With me, mostly fine. But you should be to take the first aid, and everybody, you should be to have water. 2 or 3 bottles like this, water. And I have my big one, yeah. 2 or 3, yeah. In the summertime, you should be to have 3 bottles. And I have a small rope. I'll take it with me. And I'm take it when I take it some information about leave no trace. Yeah, and I take I'm talk with my tourists to take everything. You see, a lot of things like good clothes for hiking, good shoes, hat, to bring some snack. I bring some snack for my my tourists, like I bring for them. Yani, it depends how many hours we do, how many hours hiking we want to do. If I do maybe 4 or 5 hours, I bring some dates, some small biscuit, salt biscuit with me for my tourist. And I'm told them if anybody maybe needs something special for him, they can bring with them some snacks. some snakes, yeah.
Eisa, let's ask Zaid to come back on camera. I have a question for you while he's coming back. We have a question from Alex Hopkins, who knows you. She's walked with you in the past and wants to know if other locals are interested in starting homestays and guiding for tourists. How popular has your business? Eisa, come back a second. How popular has this business become in Jordan, at least until the COVID came? Do you find your neighbors wanting to also open homestays?
Yes. I hope, inshallah, soon everybody start to go back and the tourists back to stay in our homestay. This is my pleasure. And in my opinion, the tourists coming soon to Jordan because they are back quickly because we have good technical and the Jordan now is clean with the COVID-19. You will be maybe open our country soon, maybe in 1 month. You will be
I wanted to tell you that on the line there are some of your fans also. We have Natalie Haar is with you, sending her regards, and other folks that have walked with you are sending their regards via the internet for us. Zaid, what do you bring in addition to the water and your first aid kit with walkers, particularly for long hikes?
For long hikes, they are with groups or individuals. There is not a lot of things to add it after what my colleague Eisa mentioned. But let me explain a little bit about our brochure maps. Yeah, this is our brochure maps. We developed 4 different brochure maps for each different areas. This one it's for Jericho and Bethlehem. It's the most places and cities you will find religious sites on it, and also different landscapes. Here at the beginning we can see up some names of sites where the people will pass through it, like Tal Sultan, Hisham Palace, and different another sites. Each site you will have some information about it, and also to the right of it you will find the logos for the kind of accommodation you will pass through it or you will have it during your trip. You can see there is like guest houses, sometimes homestays with family, Bedouin tents, also caves. All of that it will be in this brochure, also with the distance between each point and the other, also the areas around you, and down you will see how much the stage it will be, high or above or down, because in the area in the Jordan Valley area, some parts it's under the sea level, because that here these brochures can give you a full information about the area where you are and what's around you.
Zaid, let me tell you, there's a question for you here from Richard saying in his area they have to be careful about snakes when they hike. Do you have similar things like snakes to look out for?
Yes, of course. In these areas in the Jordan Valley, it's like Jericho, especially Jericho, it's the hot place and the hot weather. You will have it in that area. Because of that, you need to be careful from the snakes. And of course, if you are with one of our guides, he will explain about which kind of snakes in that area, what we need to do, and also the full information about which kind of animals and plants we have in that area. And here we can see the name of the city, and some information like here to the right. You can see some Arabic words and the meaning of it, like welcome, what we say in Arabic, ahlan wa sahlan, how to spell it. It's in English. like to practice how to say it. Also, you can have some general information about the guides and the homestays during your trip, the clothing, because it's important issue to respect the culture of the communities you will pass through it. You will have some information about how you need to be dressed and how you need like to talk and to deal with the community during your trip. Also, you will have some information for the transportation in the area, what the cost of this transportation between different cities and areas. Like you can see it here, it's between Jerusalem and Ramallah, Beit Lahem, Al-Oja, all the cities around you. And another part, it's talking about each stage, from where to where, the distance and the challenge of the stage. Down you can see leave no trace, the rules of leave no trace, because one of the important points we are focused on it's leave no trace. We would like everyone to find the nature clean and beautiful, because that we ask everyone to respect these rules. To the right of the brochure, you will find the main emergency phone numbers for police, ambulance, and in case you need any help from Masar Ibrahim office or Jericho municipality or Beit Lahem municipality, it's for the municipality in the area where you will be.
And I know that Masar Ibrahim Al Khalil has similar maps for different areas, for Bethlehem, for Nablus, for Sabastiya. I'm going to bring on our colleague, Jessica Benashi, who is the Product and Relationship Manager at Abraham Path Initiative. We're getting questions about the best time of year to travel and how do you travel? How do you get there? And Abraham Path Initiative has is launching a new program called the Book a Guide service on our website.
One of the main incentives, one of the things that Abraham Path Initiative focuses on is economic development in the regions that we work in, and really to facilitate your journeys. So with that, this is the homepage of the Abraham Path Initiative website. It's abrahampath.org. And if you go down to the travel section on the sidebar on the left, and you go to Book a Guide, a page will load, and you'll see our Book a Guide platform. At the moment, we have just been featuring guides from Palestine, and the only reason for this really is just that's how the conversations organically started. As I mentioned earlier, really we want to do whatever it takes to facilitate your journey and for the guides to be the liaisons and the ambassadors to their local communities, and for the Abraham Path Initiative to be a vehicle for connection to make this happen. So since Zaid is joining us today, I will walk you through a quick showing of what it would be like to book a walk with Zaid in the Nablus area of the West Bank, which is this northern area up here. So you may click View Profile. It'll look a little bit different on your browser, and that's because you can't see my cursor. The moment that you click View Profile, a window will pop up, and it will be Zaid's profile. Here you can read about how he became a guide, the experience that he has, his certifications. At the very bottom, you can see the location where Zaid works, the languages that he speaks and what he can communicate in, his phone number, his direct email address. We also have a customer review section so that after your journey, you can go ahead and leave a review. We really seek to build this because in addition to economic incentive, we also want to create a healthy level of competition, really. You won't be able to see it on my browser during this presentation, but it will make sense when you do it on your own. Here where it says Rumana to Burkin, 17 kilometers, if you were to click on this drop-down menu, you can select the segments that Zaid can lead you on a walk on. So basically, if you were to select your date, you can go ahead, click to cart, or buy it now. And then once you buy it now, it'll take you to a checkout area. And on the checkout area, you can continue shopping, just like it says here. And you may enter all of your information. It's quite easy. And you can then go ahead and either continue shopping and select another segment of the trail, or you can select a different segment of the trail and walk with Zaid elsewhere in the Nablus area. And you can do this with any of the guides that we currently feature. And please do stay tuned, because in the coming weeks, we'll begin featuring guides from Jordan, of course, including Eisa. We have colleagues in Turkey, colleagues in the Kurdish region of northern Iraq. And we're excited to receive your bookings, and you'll be in touch directly with the guides. And of course, if you'd like to go back to the travel section and down here to inquiries below the book a guide, you can select inquiries. And here you will find a form that is embedded directly in our website, and it will be sent directly to experience@abrahampath.org. And that will come directly to me, and I'll be really happy to communicate with you and assist you and help you on your journey. Thank you, Anissa.
As we all will. Yes, thank you, Jess. Why don't we bring Eisa and Zaid back on camera as well. I've put our website in the chat box for all of you, www.abrahampath.org. The Abraham Path Initiative is a not-for-profit. We are grateful for our donors and supporters who are on this call with us, and we invite you to consider us as one of your charitable contribution destinations, so we can bring you more guides like Eisa and Zaid, and more programs like this webinar, which are really helping to keep the region in people's minds and hearts while we can't be there directly. But we are intending to make this alive for you, and real people and real faces. In our handouts, you can find the upcoming webinars. So you can visit with Leon McCarran again in a couple of weeks. And next week we have 2 tour operators, one from Jordan and one from Palestine also, who will give us a sense of what's happening to small businesses in the region during COVID and what their hopes are for the post-COVID era that we, inshallah, which means God willing, we hope we are all entering at this time. I want to thank you, Zaid, and thank you, Eisa, for all the great times that you've brought me and my family and my friends to, and so many other people around the world, as guides, as friends, as caretakers, as guardians of our journeys. It's a big job you do. I think it takes courage and it takes compassion. And we're so grateful to you both, and to all of the guides that we know in the region. And may this new season, may the fall, which is the next 2 big seasons, right? Spring and fall. May the fall be a successful season for all of you in the region. We're going to close our program today with another short video that was produced in partnership with the World Bank and Masar Ibrahim, that is about the Masar Ibrahim, the trail in Palestine, but really has a sense of what walking can be for all of us. That opportunity to connect, the opportunity to cross divides, and to protest peacefully. So thank you all for joining us. We look forward to your participation in our organization and in our next webinar.
Not all those who wander are lost. Adventure is a path, a dissolution of fixed certainties. Come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshipper, lover of leaving. It doesn't matter. Climb the mountains and get their good tidings. Let nature's peace flow through you. Breathe. Kindness is a language that the deaf can hear and the blind can see. This will change you. Nothing will be black and white ever again.